Hi, everyone. I'm Anthony Palmer. I am the CEO and founder of Palm Tree Podco, and very excited to welcome our newest show to our network, to our family, The Rooted Method. Kaycee Hines, thanks for having me in your beautiful house. Yeah, absolutely. So this is our second recording session block that we've gotten to do. We recorded about a month ago a whole bunch of content with your coaches at your Rooted Coaches Retreat Summit, whatever.
Fun.
It was fantastic. Just a lovely bunch of humans that you've built around yourself.
Thanks.
And this podcast has been almost a year in the making as far as like the idea, right? So from like concept to where we are of actually launching it, which we launched the trailer as we record this week, right? So we launched it a couple days ago. Monday.
Yeah.
And we'll talk a little bit more about, obviously where people can find it, what the general idea of the podcast is going to be, who it's for, all that kind of stuff. But the main reason we're sitting down and having this conversation right now is because your story is fantastic. And you've built a really cool company with some really incredible people around you. And you're very good at taking compliments. So this is very comfortable for you.
Yeah, this is my least comfortable episode that we'll do, which is fine because it's, part of it's about me and my story.
It is.
Yeah.
So for those people listening that don't know you, that don't know about Rooted, give me a little bit of the background of, from what got you to, from day one to here.
Yeah.
And it's a loaded question.
Such a loaded question. And I'm gonna probably dive too far backwards, but I'm gonna give them the whole story. But I'm obviously, like you said, Kaycee Hines, CEO and founder of Rooted. So we're a preventative health company, and we coach people to feel their absolute best. So from the inside out. The way that I got into this is just, I think like how anybody is coming to a certain point in life. Like you can look back on childhood and you can look back on college experiences. You can look back on so many aspects of your life and be like, okay, now I see how all of those different puzzle pieces kind of got me to where I am today. So, starting with family and upbringing, I had wonderful parents, but I had very different parents as far as like how they operated in their day-to-day and how they took care of their bodies or how they didn't. And I know that shaped a massive part of why I do this in the first place. So my dad was an entrepreneur. He was really headfirst in his business. And most people that knew him were taken care of by him in some capacity. He was a phenomenal human being. And that was really all I cared about, though. So to see someone who works their tail off, like all of those things are so inspiring and these huge things that I look up to about him. But I know he also was an older dad. He had me when he was 53. So like I already knew as a young kid, like, okay, my dad's older than everyone else. And then on top of that, I knew, okay, but he also doesn't take care of himself. And so there was just this like very early on click for me that like, my dad's probably not going to be around for as much of my life as other people. And it was a weird, somber thing to feel and know as like a middle school kid that that part of that was his lifestyle and his choices, because he didn't work out. I don't think I ever saw him work out. He would play like company softball and maybe that was it. He didn't eat well. He didn't eat healthy. He was a very picky eater. He ate a lot of fast food. It just wasn't a part of his life and he didn't care. And then on the flip side of that, I had my mom who ran marathons and lifted weights. And I want to give so much credit to my mom for being one of the few women in the 90s to like not raise, because she had 3 girls, not to raise us to be like so concerned with body image. And like, she just ate. Like she fueled her body well. She worked out. She ran like crazy. And I'll never forget sitting at our house in high school and my dad not giving her crap in like a mean way, but just looked at her and was like, "Are you getting thirds of dinner right now?" And she was like, "Yeah, I'm hungry. I ran 10 miles today." And like that was the norm for me growing up. My mom always cooked protein, carb, and veggie. Like that just is how we ate. She'll kill me for saying this. Not actually, she probably won't. She'll laugh. But she wasn't like the world's best cook. So it's not like she I don't even think she did that just from a health perspective. It was just like hey, that's what's easy.
Mhm.
We're going to make protein, carb, and veggie. And that's all I've got for you guys. She did not bake. She didn't bake sweets. And truly, she doesn't love sweets anyway, but like she just wasn't this elaborate cook.
Right.
But growing up, that is just kind of how we ate because of her. I'm able to look back and be like, that's why she felt so good. I mean, that's why she is so vibrant and fit and healthy and recovering well from surgeries and from knee replacements and things like that, well beyond other people her age. It's wild. So I saw both of those things. And then unfortunately, what I thought would happen to my dad did happen in a capacity. He developed early onset dementia, and his physicians that I spoke with at length, that my sisters and I spoke with at length, would tell you time and time again that majority of this was lifestyle driven.
Yeah.
There's only so much that we can obviously avoid. There are things that were coming for him and for any of us regardless. But, to see that deterioration for 12 years where everyone was trying to take care of him and trying to get him to feel better. I mean, it was hard. If anyone who has cared for a loved one with dementia or Alzheimer's knows that it is incredibly challenging. So, I really was able to see both of those different pictures of what health can and should not, whatever, should be.
Yeah.
That was kind of the upbringing. I then ended up going to Clemson because my dad went to Clemson and, go Tigers. I had to. Majored in business management, never thought I would really use it. Obviously, here I am now running a business, so it comes in
Little
quite
did you know.
So it actually worked out great for me. But really, didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. I think in that time, and that was really when, my dad was at his worst or starting to decline.
Sure.
I didn't really care about anything else. I went to college, I partied, and I look back at that person, and I don't think has ever been who I was, but it was definitely a challenging time in my life. Drank a lot, probably gained freshman 30, not the freshman 15. And kind of had to dig out of that.
Been there.
Most people have been there in some capacity. But after college, I really knew that was not the lifestyle that I wanted to live. And I didn't have this, I don't know, any crazy problems, but I just did not care about myself or my health. And was able to kind of, again, put those pieces together as I watched dad decline. So post-college, started working in sales, wanted to follow in his footsteps, kind of, he was like, yeah, you got to work in sales. And you have to do, I was trying to do whatever my dad thought I should do or whatever he wanted me to do. To make him proud. So I started working in sales and I was like, this sucks. I didn't believe in what I was selling. And if you know me well, and I'm sure most people that are going to listen to this are people that I know.
Sure.
I am pretty straightforward. I'm pretty genuine. I'm not going to be able to sell something that I don't believe in. And I will not forget trying to sit and sell this digital marketing to this little old man that owned a lawn mowing business. And I was like, this is not going to do anything for you. This is not going to work for you. And he asked me point blank, do you think this is going to benefit my business? And I was like, I got to tell you, I don't. And I quit that day because I was like, I'm not doing the company a service, and I can't lie to these people. So I went back and got a certification for personal training and was like, I'll just, try to start working in the health and wellness space, helping people, feel better if I can. And then went back to nursing school. So went and got another bachelor's degree in nursing. After nursing school, I worked in a medical ICU, and that's where I really got to see preventable disease and just a lot of people that were sick with things that could have been avoided.
Yeah.
That was obviously another massively pivotal moment to where I am now, because now I have this thing that I've watched happen with my dad for so many years to now, okay, I'm a nurse in a medical ICU, so we're not seeing, trauma. We're really just seeing people that, yes, some people that had things that were absolutely not avoidable. But I did see a lot that was avoidable, and it was really hard to watch. Specifically, the patients, of course, I'm the one caring for them. It's awful to watch somebody deteriorate, but even more so, the family members that would be in there, and I'm holding someone's hand and talking them through their loved one dying, and I'm like, this sucks. I like being that person for someone.
Sure.
I liked my role in that, but I hated that it got there for some of those people where it was the moments of gosh, you were a frequent flyer here, because you never were taught to manage this.
Mm-hmm.
So that was huge to be able to see what we could do on the other side. So I got very, very passionate about that. What can I do on the other side? And I'm like, I'm one person. Can't do a whole lot, but I can do my best. I'll try. So I started looking at coaching people on the side. I left the hospital. I went and worked for a functional medicine doctor. And sometimes people hear that term and they're like, they think that's woo woo.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, just not to like totally pull you off of it, give a overview of kind of what that means.
Functional medicine is like, I mean, there are different types of functional medicine practitioners, but the one that I worked for was very much like root cause medicine. So you might, let's give an example of if there's a rock in your shoe or your foot is hurting really bad. Your foot's hurting and someone's like, okay, you go see a doctor and they're like, you can take some ibuprofen. This will help manage the symptoms for your foot.
Yeah.
And the functional medicine doctor is like, well, we can do that. We'll definitely manage the symptoms, but also let's make sure we take the shoe off and take off the sock and see, is there a rock in there? Or is there some, and that's such a very, very elementary example, but like, what's the actual cause of the pain, not the Band-Aid on the pain?
Right.
And I'm not saying our primary care doctors don't do that, but functional medicine is bigger, deeper dives into what could the root cause be behind some of these issues. The reason I specifically loved working for that doctor, is because she wasn't a total quack. And if you know, if you're in this space at all, there's a lot of those out there.
Sure.
She was an ER physician for 15 years. She's an MD. She has seen and she still uses actual medicine, and she pairs that with a holistic approach as well. So I worked for her, was her nurse wellness coordinator, learned so much from her. Just really how to help people prevent illness. And then she also dove into a lot of really cool stuff with like longevity and hormone replacement therapy and all of those types of things. So I was able to work as her right hand, and obviously was a great experience for me.
Yeah.
After that, I worked for a coaching company. Well, and I've owned a couple other businesses in between, but those don't really matter. I worked for another coaching company because I was like, I'm good at coaching. Like I love the one-on-one, convincing someone how to do what they need to do to accomplish their goal, whatever it may be. Like
Right.
it is so fun for me. So I was like, you know what? I'll go work for someone else. I was pregnant with our daughter, and was like, I don't want to run my own business right now while I'm pregnant. Like that just feels like a lot. So I'll go work at this other place. Learned a lot of things I didn't want to do. Learned a lot of great things too. Had some great experiences, met some phenomenal people. Ultimately, it was not the place for me. And so I just decided to, pregnant with my second baby, I was like, I will do this on my own now. Like I'm ready. I can just coach by myself.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole goal was like, coach as many people as I can, help as many people as I can. But I never had this dream of like, of course there was a little something in the back of my head, but it was never like Rooted is going to be huge. Like Rooted wasn't even a thing. That wasn't even in my head yet.
Yeah.
I just wanted to coach. I just wanted to coach my people and be by myself and not be managed by someone else or be misaligned in a company that I didn't want to be in. So I just did it alone. And my launch, which I guess was, what year is it right now? It was 2024, January of 24.
Okay.
I had so many applications that I was like, oh, shoot. I literally can't do this by myself.
Yeah.
And I think it was something like 50 or so applications, like week one of like, hey, this is what I'm doing it on my own. And I think there had been a lot of people in my pipeline that like wanted to potentially work with me, but they didn't want to work with the company that I was with, or who knows.
Sure.
But, there's also some excitement when somebody's doing something. And so there were 50 something applications and I was like, shoot, okay, well, we got to do something. So I hired our first coach to come on, and that was Kate Larson. And she, holy smokes, she would never take that praise, but she is the reason I could end up doing this, because it was like, okay, I have to be able to give people to someone that I can trust, someone who has similar training as me, somebody who has a similar background. We align on all of this. So she came on, very quickly filled her roster up to the point where she was like, okay, I'm good. Like this is all I can take. And so it was like, okay, we just need to keep bringing people on, because now you've got a fire under me.
Right.
Now I'm like, okay, we have something good. And because this is authentic and this is genuine and people want to do it, like, okay, now I'm ready to freaking go. So I think that is when I was like, okay, this is going to be something cool. So then I just kept hiring coaches. Hire a coach, fill a roster. Hire a coach, fill a roster. Or get as close as possible. People's coaching rosters are going to fluctuate. And now we're at 10 coaches and 2 or 3 admin staff and operations manager, and in 2 years, which has been crazy
fast. So,
yeah,
I think about it, there's so much out of that I would love to like sit down and tease out with you and pick your brain on, but that's not the point of this episode today, right?
Also, just give you a lot of information.
No, but I mean, what's amazing is, and I mean, just full transparency for the, the audience, obviously you're my client, but I am also your client, and we've worked together now for a little over a year. I've had coaches and personal trainers and all the things all through my life, and they've all been great and had value and gotten me to places and whatever. But there is something different about doing this as being on that side of it as your client, and then also I think I'm really fortunate that I get to kind of be in some of the business side of it with you too, right? So we get to have these like very layered conversations about things. And what has stood out to me since day one, before you were my client, when I was just your client, is that authenticity piece, right? And that excitement, that fire, and just you have this knowledge that you bring with, and meeting people where they are, right? And I think, your background that you've just shared, everything that you've been through, like it's very apparent why you're able to do that, right? But I want to give you an opportunity, and I know you're not going to like this question, but like, talk a little bit about, so you've done a really good job of giving us the story kind of across the surface here.
Sure.
Talk a little bit about that impact piece for you, right? As a human, as a mom, as a spouse, as a daughter, all of this, like you're seeing week one of you starting this, 50 people reaching out and saying like, help, right? Yeah. Like putting a hand out and being like, I need help. You get to do that. Fast forward 2 years, you have 10 other people helping you do that. So that number of people that you're impacting, right? Which was the whole goal of this, right? To help.
Yeah.
What does that feel like to you now?
Yeah. Hate you for this. I first of all, thank you. I appreciate, everything you've said. I'm great at compliments and talking about myself. So
very good at it.
Treat.
Very good at it.
The impact piece is probably the only thing that you could get me to talk about that would make me cry, because I'm not a super emotional person, but
that's what we're here for today, by the way.
No, I'm not going to do it. But I mean, that's everything. That's the whole reason for all of this was like, how many people can we help? And to be able to do that on a scale that I never anticipated is wild and very humbling, to have that many people that trust me, that trust us with their health. We have done everything from getting people off of medications to reversing type 2 diabetes, restoring women's cycles who haven't had a period for a long time, which is, I'll tell you because you don't know, but hypothalamic amenorrhea, if someone's been overexercising and undereating and they don't know why they haven't had a cycle and they don't know that it's not healthy, that's been suppressed, like helping women restore that, or multiple infertility cases and, women getting pregnant naturally that had to use IVF with their first couple of pregnancies, like those things, and like seeing that impact and seeing the direct impact that it has on people and their lives is like the most wildly rewarding thing that you could possibly do. So to be able to do that on a big scale it just feels crazy.
Yeah, not that this podcast is about me, but I'll put the spotlight on me for a minute and give you a break.
Thanks.
When you have the privilege of getting to help people, right? So, and it's very different, but like, we, with our company, we get to help people share their stories, which ideally has impact and helps people to learn, grow, be better, all the things, right? When you can slow down for a minute as an entrepreneur, as a parent, the 3 million different hats that you wear every day, and you can see those things. Those are the things that like make the grind at 2 or 3 in the morning that much easier, right? Or make the like stress about how am I going to make payroll this week or whatever. Which I mean, so there's the like the high energy, the beauty of all of this, but there's the reality to all of this too, right? Like, and I'm getting to my point, but like, I think for you as a coach and for your other coaches that you have as a part of your team, every one of them is a real human, right? So every one of them can connect with their people, their coaches, and say things like, this week is very stressful. I have 3 million sporting events going on this week with my kids, or my spouse is out of town, or this, that, or the other. And it's met with, I think, that like grace and humility that you've been able to kind of bring through your whole life. Right. And I just think that's really cool because there's so much in this space, right?
Yeah. There's
so much of this that is like the quick fix, the magic pill, and there's no, everybody's got their thing that works for them,
sure. Right?
The like, shut up, there's no excuses,
yep.
The 75 hard, the whatever it may be. And I really like, we recorded another conversation yesterday with one of your coaches, Kim, about your guys' like mentorship program that you guys do. And like, it was the whole time, like, I keep repeating the same thing, but it just is so cool to see you guys be so authentic and understanding and knowing how and when to like pull the right levers on people.
Right. It's the biggest part of coaching.
Right.
And like of what we do is how do you coach so many different people in different ways?
Yeah.
And like, I mean, I coach multiple people that
Right.
And I coach every single one of them wildly differently.
Right.
Completely different approach. So I think that when I am looking at hiring coaches, like I want to make sure that they have, yes, the education and the experience and the transformations to prove and all those things, right? They have to have a good resume. But the number one thing that I need to know is that you are empathetic and that you are capable of knowing when to push and pull somebody.
Yeah.
Like I have to know when do I light a fire under your ass and like try to get you going versus like, hey, you needed a little bit of grace this week. Like this week was just really hard, right? Like with every client.
You do that? You give people grace?
Oh yeah, I do give some people grace. Not you. Okay. See, I know what some people need. But you have to know your person. I have some clients who need me to hold their hand a little bit more. That's okay. Like that's a part of coaching. I enjoy that.
Sure.
And then I have some people that are like, yo, talk to me once a week. Leave me alone. Tell me exactly what you want me to do and I will just do it. And that is two totally different human beings. So I think that coaching as a whole is more like psychology than it even is all of the other stuff.
Yeah.
It's learning people.
What has coaching taught you about being a parent?
Oh man, that's hard. It's hard not to like put on my coaching hat with my children.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Yeah. I mean, I know it's taught me a lot. It's taught me a lot because I see so many different types of people and how they process and think through food. But I think the number one thing, and my kids are still very young, so I'm sure all of this will continue to transpire as they age. But I think the biggest one for me is how I speak about myself, my body, food, fitness, all of that in front of my daughter. My son too, absolutely. But a lot of the women that I've worked with have, and this is not against their moms, grandmas, aunts, anyone who has said these things. Sometimes yes, but like a lot of times women will just make little comments about themselves that they don't think are going to impact someone else, and they do. And I'll be more specific so you can understand what I'm actually referring to. But like, I have a client who really struggles with body image and she looks great. Like she does not see that. She cannot see that. And it's because growing up, her grandma would always tell her that she was too chubby for her clothes and that she didn't look good. And she's like 12, And that is a little bit more extreme of an example, but there's so many, there's way worse that I'm not going to mention. And then there's other ones of like, I remember my mom always looking in the mirror. I'm not saying this. My mom was great with body image stuff, but like, I remember a client saying, my mom was always looking in the mirror, like pinching at her fat or like, really self-conscious all the time. And it just really taught me how I want to be in front of my daughter. And I teach that to my clients too, that, yes, some of my clients weigh their food, some don't. So if I'm telling a woman like, hey, you're going to weigh your food, but I know you have girls. So this is how I want you to talk about this.
Yeah.
I want you to make sure that they know that you are weighing your food so that you can eat enough so that mommy can be strong for as long as possible. But it does. It's important to not like just constantly want to be smaller and then show that to our kids. So yeah, that's a deep one for me. But yeah, I want my daughter to be able to see like we are trying to be strong and capable and take up space. And sure, I want everyone to feel confident in their skin, but not in a self-deprecating way.
You said something a few weeks ago during your coaches retreat, one of the episodes that will be coming out in the future, about wanting to be strong so that you could help your dad, right? Like physically wanting to be able to lift him, right?
Yeah, that was a wild moment.
And it made me, I was thinking a lot about that when you said it, because the reason it brought me back is what you were just talking about, you know, mommy needs to eat enough to be strong, right? It is this life-giving power to be able to take care of ourselves, right? And it's really hard to take care of ourselves, you know? And I think it boggles my mind at times that we outsource so much in our lives, right? We outsource our accounting. We outsource, maybe if we're fortunate enough, to our house cleaner, right? We outsource somebody working on our car for us, or maybe doing our lawn or whatever. But it's like people get hung up on taking care of themselves, right? And I think also maybe understanding that they are deserving of that, right? Yeah. And that title of a coach, or the luxury of saying like, oh, I have a coach, right? It's something that I know not everybody is capable of having. You guys do something really cool to help people with that. Will you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah.
And I know you don't talk about it a lot, so that's...
I've never talked about it.
Yeah.
So, and most of our clients, it is important that like our clients also know that we do this.
Yeah.
So I shouldn't talk about it. But it feels good.
That's what we're here to do.
All my favorite things. No, it was really important to me from day one to have pro bono clients. And that's just something that we've really tried to expand, because to your point, affording coaching or someone to clean your home or any of these things are at the end of the day luxury. Mm-hmm. And don't get me wrong, like I love all of the people that I coach, and I love helping people with things that are everything from a small goal to a huge, massive health goal. To a most recent client that desperately needs to come off of blood pressure medication because he told me that he, at his last primary care doctor appointment feels like he's going to die young. So like those are wildly impactful. I coach some very big stories, but there's a lot of people that have really big stories like that can't afford coaching, or they don't even know that it's a thing, or they don't have the resources. They either can't afford it, or they're in more rural areas, or like most people don't even know that's a thing.
Right.
I live in this bubble, and you're kind of in the bubble too.
I was just going to say the same thing, right? It's easy to get on Instagram and be like,
everybody's doing this.
What do you mean people don't know about coaching and fitness and mental health?
For me to get on it and be like, the space is so saturated. Why are we even doing this?
Right.
And then it's like, wait, hang on, wait a second. 95% of the population, I'm in this, we're in this 5% bubble that we look at. But 95% of people need the help. So we right now have the ability to still carry 10 pro bono clients because the coaches are still obviously getting paid to coach these people. So that's, the biggest thing that I want to grow this year. So my like Q4 goal, and I'm such a visual person. I have my whiteboard that I've written down all my goals for every quarter, but Q4 says impact. And it is that by the end of the year that we can coach anywhere from, beyond 10, but I would love for us to get to 50 pro bono clients on a monthly basis. And then what does that look like moving forward? How can we, there's a lot of ideas spinning around in my head, but
shocking.
I know, shocking, but it's a really cool process. And I think that people assume that if they're getting free coaching, like if we're giving someone free coaching, that they're not going to do it because they don't have that skin in the game. And there can be a little bit of that, but like we make sure that we vet people before bringing them in and know that they really actually need it. Man, the people that we have coached for free so far have been incredible. Yeah. And we have seen some of the coolest transformations happen from that. So that's, really when we talk about like the growth of the business and coaching over 1,000 people over the last couple of years, like really cool things that we've been able to do. I don't look at that as like more revenue or more this or that. Sure. It's like, how cool is that then turns into more lives? That turns into more people in that pro bono space. So I'm excited to grow that.
And just the ripple of that, right? Because now all of a sudden, mom or dad is healthier.
Mm-hmm. Gosh, yeah.
I get to play with my kids more. Your line of like, grandpa and grandma can get up off the floor with the grandkids, right? Whatever it may be. Like it's generational. It has the opportunity to be generational change.
Yeah, and I don't I struggle to say some of that stuff sometimes because I don't want to sound cheesy, but like, no, it is that. No. Like, it is. It is generational health.
Right.
Versus generational wealth. I would love to build generational wealth for my children. I more importantly want them to have health.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to get other people to learn and understand how to do that and provide that for their family. And I always have called it like kind of like the web of coaching, because you coach one person to this great transformation. I don't need them to refer all their people to us. That's not what I'm saying. The web of coaching, it's more so now how many people are they then impacting?
Right.
I just got a message from someone's wife yesterday who I've worked with this guy for almost 5 years. I love him, his wife, his kids. I know so much about them and their lives. And so I don't coach her specifically, but over the years, she's just like learned little things from him. And then every now and then her and I'll message on Instagram, and I ended up telling her she had multiple miscarriages and after their third baby, and just couldn't quite figure out what was going on. And I looked up different specialists in Knoxville and sent her where I thought she should go and what blood work you should get done and why. And then not only are they able to, have their fourth baby and get pregnant and all that, but she sent me a message of just like, I feel so different postpartum this time around because of that. And like, I don't even coach her.
Yeah.
That is the web of what coaching can provide, is you're impacting so many more lives than just the one person that you coach.
Yeah.
Which is the coolest part of all of it.
Yeah.
So with the pro bono side of things too, coaching people that don't have access to it, like that's even bigger to me, the impact, right? Because the people that I'm talking about are also on Instagram and getting some of this advice and whatnot. So now you take someone in a rural area who doesn't even know what a carb is, but they're diabetic.
Yeah.
And start teaching them that. And now their kids start to learn those things. Like that is crazy how impactful that can be. So.
Yeah. It's fantastic. It's really cool you guys do that.
Thanks.
I also think it's cool that you haven't talked about it to some extent, right? Like, because there's value in that. But I think it's really, as a client, I didn't know that until a couple weeks ago, right? But those are those things where you're like, oh man, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and you don't ever want to talk about it and be like, hey, look at us. We do great things,
Right.
But I think it is important for our clients specifically, more importantly, to know that like, we're not a company that's just like, hey, how much money can we put in our pockets? And I'm not that type of founder, and our coaches aren't those type of coaches.
Yeah.
Like what you are paying for coaching is, yes, goes to your coach. And then also it goes to these other cool things that we're able to do and provide for people.
Yeah.
So yeah, thanks for giving me a space to actually talk about it.
You're welcome. We're gonna start to land this plane, and I'm gonna get you out of having to be vulnerable and
sweaty.
all the things. Yeah, it's the lights. Let's talk a little bit about the Rooted Method. Okay.
Yeah.
So, like I said at the start, we've got a handful of episodes recorded already. Mm-hmm. A lot of those are with your coaches. Mm-hmm. There's a lot more to come besides that. Can you share a little bit about what we're going to be doing on the podcast?
Yeah.
What you're going to be doing? I won't be on it again. I'm done.
Maybe. We'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah. So, I mean, one, I want people to know our coaches and like how incredibly smart they are and all of the advice that they have. And I know that by putting that into a podcast and into a space where people can listen, it can help quiet some of the noise, because like we've talked about, social media is noisy and it's really confusing. And I want to be able to provide a trusted space for people to come to find evidence-based information and, real practical advice to help them in their day-to-day and in their health. So quiet the noise and then help people practically, that maybe aren't our clients, or maybe, yes, solidify things for people who are our clients, but help people with just some tangible things that they can do. So we will talk to all the coaches. We'll do different topics with all of them, and then have quite a fun lineup of trusted experts and physicians and a lot of cool people in the space that I've been kind of poking at. And surprisingly, a lot of people are interested in coming and sharing about some of these things. So yeah, I'm excited.
The show's going to come out every other week. Mm-hmm. Well, it's going to come out on Wednesdays. Okay. So this episode, yeah, but right now.
I'm like, cool.
So this will be the first episode. Thanks for sitting down and talking with me about all of this. If people want to find out more about you or what it's like to work with you guys, what's that process look like? What do they do?
Yeah. Well, first, I mean, you can find us on Instagram. Mine's Kaycee Hines _. We'll put all this in the show.
All of this will be in the show
right?
notes. Yes, Caitlin.
Or the Rooted Coaches. Our website's therootedcoaches.com. But what we do is we have a little application form just so that I know a little bit before hopping on a call with somebody. I've had so many mentors advise me against this, but our consult calls are free.
Yep.
And we're not in a place in business where they should be, but I want them to be free. Because if you do a consult call with us to see what coaching looks like, cool. Yeah, I'll tell you what coaching looks like, but I'm not a salesy tool. I'm going to also try to give you tangible advice for what you could do for your current situation, whether you do coaching or not. I want people to come to a call with us or with me and receive value. And then sure, if you want to learn about coaching, I'll let you know what that's about too. But I'm not here to push that on people. I want to help as many people as I can. So we'll have a 30-minute chat and I'll tell them about what it is and then go from there. Easy enough.
Easy enough.
Well, thanks. This was fun.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye.